Howdy folks, Eric here with another standard brew. Today we're building around Biotech Specialist, a 2-mana insect from Edge of Eternities. When it enters, create a lander token. Whenever you sacrifice an artifact, this creature deals 2 damage to target opponent. Lander, it can be relevant, but really we're built around this second clause, sacking an artifact and burning our opponent out. How are we accomplishing this? Well, today we're utilizing a more mid-range shell, a bunch of creatures that produce artifacts and are pretty good by themselves anyway. 4 Llanowar Elves, 4 Biotech Specialist, 4 Generous Plunderer. If you're not familiar with this card, 2 mana, 2/2 Menace. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may create a treasure token. When you do, target opponent creates a tapped treasure token. So we're ramping, we're kind of giving our opponent a chance to ramp. Whenever Generous Plunderer attacks, it deals damage to the defending player equal to the number of artifacts they control, sort of forcing them to spend their treasures right away. But we can hoard them like a dragon and build up this big board of treasures to eventually sacrifice to Biotech Specialist and burn our opponent out. Our backup Biotech Specialist comes in the form of Kranko, Baron of Tin Street, 3 mana, 3/3 haste. He says, tap, sacrifice an artifact, put a 1/1 counter on each goblin you control. We don't have any other goblins in the deck. However, he also has, whenever an artifact is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, you may pay red. If you do, create a 1/1 red goblin creature token. It gains haste until end of turn. So anytime you sacrifice a treasure, you can use that red mana that the treasure generates to create a goblin, aka 1-for-1 treasure equals goblin. And then, so you make a big board of goblins with all of your treasures and maps from Sentinel of the Nameless City or food from Bristlebud Farmer, and then buff all the goblins with your last artifact. Swing with a board of hasty 2/2s. A lot of flexibility there. Sentinel of the Nameless City, really core in this shell. Makes a lot of maps. Very consistent attacker and blocker. 3 Bristlebud Farmer, another card from the Outlaws of Thunder Junction Vault extra set thing. 5/5 Trample for 4. And enters, creates 2 food tokens, and then you can sacrifice the foods to garner some card advantage. 4 Chandra Spark Hunter, probably the second most important card in the deck. It's a 4 mana planeswalker. It can crew and give our vehicles haste. You can see we're on 4 Lumbering World Wagon and 4 Rocketeer Boost Buggy. It can sacrifice our artifacts. It's pretty self-sufficient. It can make a little generic vehicle. The best thing about it, though, is its ultimate is really accessible. It only takes 3 turns, 2 after you've played it, to use its ultimate. And once its ultimate says, you get an emblem with, whenever an artifact you control enters, this emblem deals 3 damage to any target. We're making a lot of artifacts, so if we do manage to ultimate, it's pretty much game over at that point. 4 Rocketeer Boost Buggy, another card that I don't think I've ever seen anyone else play, maybe if you were big into Edge of Eternity Limited. 2 mana, 3/2 vehicle. Whenever it attacks, create a treasure token. Sweet, we like that. Cruise for 1, which is our elves and our Biotech Specialists can crew it. It also has Exhaust for 3 mana to make it just an artifact, just a creature, and put a 1/1 counter on it. So if you have nothing else going on, at the very least, this always can attack by itself, very self-sufficient, and it can act as another creature to crew our Lumbering World Wagon in late game situations. So a really solid pair with the wagon, with the Chandra, a nice little core there. As for removal, we're only on 2 Torch the Tower and 2 Iroh's Demonstration. There's a lot of Otter stuff going on the ladder right now. I think these Iroh's Demonstrations are going to be pretty pivotal and decent outside of that matchup as well. As far as our land base, we're on 23 lands, including 2 Fountain Port and 1 Restless Ridgeline. As for our sideboard here, we're on 4 Magebane Lizard for those spelly storm matchups. Not really storm, but they're casting tons of spells. 4 Soul Guide Lanterns, 2 more Torches, 2 more Iroh's Demonstrations, and 3 Abrades. We're pretty good into the artifact matchup, but I like that this is an instant speed way to kill Kona and kill Ouroboros before it triggers. So it's important to have some kind of instant speed removal in your deck. I'm a big fan of this deck. Let's go ahead and play some ranked games. Big fan of this deck. Played it a lot before the Avatar set came out. It can present some very fast starts. Llanowar Elves into either the Wagon or Sentinel into Chandra, etc., etc. But also it has this like extra reach from the Biotech Specialists, where we only need to hit our opponent maybe down to 10, and then once they're at 10, they're pretty much in like Biotech Specialist range. Very realistic that we're able to just do 10, have an assortment of maps and treasures to utilize. Plus, if we match up into the artifact matchup, Generous Plunderer absolutely houses that deck. Hoses that deck. Hoses? It's a house that hoses that deck. We'll go ahead and lead on a mountain here. We have Plunderer. We have a lot of options here. I think it's almost always better to lead on the Plunderer. Ooh, a little artifacts matchup. A little artifact matchup, huh? Almost always better to lead on the Plunderer than the Specialist. This accelerates us, and it, okay. Alright, they kill it. Fair enough. Accelerates us, and the Specialist, while it can be like a, you can almost compare it to Solemn Simulacrum in a way. 4 mana, rampant growth, essentially. It's a little clunky, especially in the current standard, right? Emissary Escort, what are they doing? Dowerport Mage, what are we up against? G-dubs. Bristlebud Farmer is a great draw. Cruise up the wagon very nicely, creates these tokens for Krenko. Go ahead and play this Restless Ridgeline. Bounce my Farmer, interesting. They maybe should have bounced my wagon. Unless they have some cool lethal that they're setting up here. I have no idea what I'm playing against, to be honest with you. But we're doing some pretty powerful stuff. Riddler. Okay. Riddler, Dowerport Mage is cool. I think Dowerport Mage by itself is a little underexplored. Returning the Riddler. Au Natural. Interesting. Well, I think we're just going to go for Bristlebud Farmer and Krenko and swing. Now our mana is opened quite a lot to be able to just play this Biotech Specialist and sacrifice a ton of artifacts. Like, we have the mana to just get rid of our whole board almost here. Ill-timed Explosion. Gonna leave me with a Lumbering World Wagon, perhaps. Assuming they don't have another bounce off. What are they doing? Oh, sweet. Okay, Bygone Colossus. The Bygone Colossus Respector has logged on. Let's go ahead. I'm sure we can find a lethal here. I think we play Krenko. Guess we just play Krenko, play Sentinel, through the wagon, swing with both. Just play out our hand. Crew the wagon, swing with Krenko. Yeah. We don't need to like gamble on any maps. Alright, pretty clean game 1 in the books. Pretty clean game 1. Hit them with creatures. Fascinated by what our opponent's up to. Seems pretty cool. Let's go ahead and bring in the Abrades here. Maybe go down on the torches. I'm not sure that the torches are going to be particularly effective. Probably cut Probably cut an Iroh's demonstration. That's okay. It kills their, like... It kills some of their stuff, I guess, but... I don't think we care that much. I don't know. Getting hit for 9, like, is not that big of a deal. Pretty sweet hand. I like the Abrade. Very mid-rangey hand. Just kind of curve out and play your stuff. Yeah, let's go with the Generous Plunderer. It's just so good. It's so good into this matchup. And they're not like full-on artifact. Okay. I'm seeing the things. The gears are turning here. This makes sense to me. So we're gonna have to hold up an Abrade here, I think. No problem. We can play the Biotech Specialist. Hold up Abrade. Hold up sacking the lander if we want to. Swing in for 4. Flagstorm. 3 damage to each creature. Okay. I think I'm gonna respond by sacking my lander here. Get an extra 4 damage into their face with Biotech Specialist for pretty much free. Grab a forest. And then we can start... They swing for 1, we can start swinging in with Krenko. And hold up Abrade. Ooh, maybe the wagon's better, though. Yeah, I think maybe the wagon's better. Hold up this Abrade here. I like that the wagon unlocks our hand a bit more for next turn. Or if we draw another land, we can... Ooh. Quantum Riddler. Also, the wagon just swings for bigger. It just swings for bigger. Dowerport Mage. Okay. Swinging in. Kind of down to Abrade the Dowerport. Keep them off of a card draw. Keep them off of a couple damage here. So then it'll put me to 11. And if they have the big robot, I'm pretty much toast to that. Maybe I just kill the emissary escort right now. Go to 10, and then I'm not dead to the big robot. If I have a sentinel back to block with. I think I'm okay with that. So we can go swing with Krenko, play a sentinel to block. I like that. No wagon action quite yet. But playing the wagon last turn let us double spell here, so. Another Riddler. Pretty nice with the siege. I like their card advantage engine here. Let's see if they, I mean, if they have another Riddler, I'm just dead. That's pretty cool. Well, I'm definitely gonna block. Are they just dead? If they didn't plan properly? Are they just, like, if they have nothing else, I think they're just dead. They could have bounce off in their hand, I guess. They could have bounce off. Let's go ahead, play the Sentinel. Get some maps to sacrifice. Brew up the wagon, hopefully. They have something, maybe. Or maybe they're pretending to have something. Go ahead and put a map on Sentinel. We'll make a goblin here. Chandra, okay. Okay. Put a map on the Sentinel. I guess we can put a map on Krenko this time. Make a goblin. I mean, I'm just gonna go for it. Bounce my wagon. Now they need to have a land, basically. Need to be able to block this. I guess we'll swing for 2. I think that makes sense. I'm probably just dead if they have another land. Just dead in the air. Yep. Okay. Fair enough. Cool deck. Cool deck. We don't have any way to deal with enchantments. Perhaps a short. Perhaps a blind spot during my deck construction. That's okay. We'll be on the play and we'll kill him instead. This hand's close. Gonna have to mulligan. We'll keep this. Turn 2 wagon. Removal for their dower ports, etc., etc. Could just be a wagon beatdown plan if they don't have any removal for this right now. Sweet. Grab another Montaña. Feeling great. Maybe they brought in like a braid. Let's play the farmer. We have Fountain Port to sacrifice some clues for a little extra longevity in the matchup. Get in for a ton of damage here. Play draw advantage, kind of huge. Dower Port Mage. And something, maybe. Thinking about bouncing my wagon. Thinking about bouncing my farmer. No idea. Okay, decided to boomerang basics my wagon after some consideration. Not a huge problem. Gonna go ahead, play our Krenko here. And just Iroh's demonstration. The Dowerport Mage, hit him for a bunch. Draw off the Bristleblood Farmer. Unfortunately, we don't have the red to pay for this, but not a big deal. Let's take the boost buggy here, I think. A little more flexible. I think they were on expansion, not expansion explosion. The 4 mana is it board wipe. A little more flexible through that. Slag Storm as well. Okay. I think I'm just gonna go for it. They could have a bounce off here, I suppose, but I can still play the boost buggy after cracking the map on the farmer here. Land. Not the worst. They're still in it for a second. Go ahead and take this Chandra with our hand of vehicles here. Play our World Wagon. Open up our mana a little more. Threatening a hasty boost buggy next turn, even if they wipe the board. Not sure how they would. Here's the Colossus. It's big. It's full bore. It's hitting me. Okay. okay. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Nice try. Cool deck. I respect. I like what they're cooking up. Good solid start. Not not against a meta deck. You wouldn't be able to say that we played our deck into a meta deck. But solid start nonetheless. Showed off the power of our big beefy artifact producing cards. I like this hand. No elf, but we have a solid mix of lands and spells here. I hate to see the Thundering Falls. Not a big fan of not a big fan of playing against Izzet. We've been us standard players. We've been in the trenches for the last year or so. Just constant Izzet decks that are just doing Storm Chaser's talent things or what have you. I think the Plunderer could be a little dangerous. I'm gonna put them on the like Otter combo deck. I think the Plunderer could be a little dangerous here. We'll just go ahead and play the boost buggy. Okay. Blood Farm Verge. I guess Otter combo is still not out of the question, but I'm really not sure what they're up to. Player Sentinel here. Drew up the boost buggy. Start swinging in. I think I'm going to hold on to the treasure in case we draw like a future Biotech Specialist. Give us some reach through a board of potential tokens. If I just saw these three lands, I'd say maybe it's like Bant Flash or the combo deck. I don't know. But the red from Thundering Falls is really throwing me off. Go ahead and play another Sentinel. No more lies. Okay. Not a big deal. Let's play our Generous Plunderer. Try to crew up this boost buggy. Helix the buggy. Fair enough. They could have a board wipe here next turn. On some kind of 5-color control list, maybe? I don't know. The green is throwing me now, though. Lightning Helix. What's the green for in this stock up No More Lies list? The green is for... They're just on Badger Mole Cub? I don't know. Oh, Songcrafter Mage. Okay. It all makes sense. It all makes sense now. Casting a stock up. They might have some trouble with my wagons in this game, in this first game. Do I give them a map here? Or sorry, do I give them a treasure here? I don't think so. I think I'll skip that one. Let's start mapping up my Sentinel here. Skip on that. I guess, I guess we'll play a World Wagon. And we can shock ourselves. I don't think that's super important. Let's hold back a map here. We'll have 2 maps to play the Generous Plunderer and potentially buff it to be big enough to crew the wagon if they decide to wipe the board here. They could be on like Ultima for this kind of deck. Kind of makes sense as a clean answer to everything. The River Regent. Okay. Bouncing my wagon and my Sentinel here. Fair enough. Swings with the Mage. I guess we just torch it. I don't think there's much of a reason not to torch this here. Swing in with a big Menace Generous Plunderer. I think we'll give him a treasure now just for a little bit of extra damage. start cracking some maps on our Plunderer. Skip that. Fountain Port, that's not bad. I guess we should have saved our land drop. I like getting the wagon out. Go ahead and swing for 4. Might as well play the Sentinel. See what they're up to here. Probably Jeskai Revelation at this point. Shocks themselves, even though they have this extra treasure, bringing them to 8 mana. Shocks themselves. That's a little surprising. Control Freak. Doppelgang. Okay. Makes sense. Pretty good. If we draw a Biotech Specialist, we could close this out, I think. Fortunately, do not. I guess I could have predicted... it's so hard. The standard ladder is just so full of random stuff. It's funny how that treasure right there just gave them just enough mana to be able to do it for 2. I don't think we have a way in this one. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Has anyone considered, by the way, playing Generous Plunderer with Get Lost? I never even really thought about it. Seems kind of interesting. Okay, their graveyard is obviously pretty important, but is it so important that I bring in all these Soul Guide Lanterns? We can definitely cut the torches. Magebane Lizard is not bad. It survives through a lot of their removal. Probably go down the Iroh's demonstrations. Maybe just bring in a couple lizards. Right, like that. We don't have a whole lot, but I think our main deck strategy is pretty sound into this matchup. They probably are going to bring in Ultima, if I had to guess. Maybe that's what the white is for. It's a close hand. I kind of feel like our mana base could use a touch-up. Maybe we should just be on starting town as well, just for added consistency. Go ahead and mulligan this. This is pretty good. Turn 3 farmer, if we want it. Multiversal Passage on green. I guess we'll go with the Plunderer. This guy can definitely be dangerous, giving your opponents treasures, but at the same time, like, being able to ramp into our farmers, I think is pretty good. And it attacks for 3. Consistently attacks for 3. Fixing their mana is a little tough, but... Ooh, another artifact. Yeah. I'm just gonna go all in here. I think I'm gonna play 2 boost buggies. I guess I'll see what I hit off of this food token. I think I'd rather save the hasty Cranko. Okay, well, I'm gonna take a Biotech Specialist. That kind of changes things. And now if I play 1 boost buggy and pass, I guess they could still Ultima me, but if they have just like a generic sort of board wipe situation, then we're looking pretty good. 7 mana. They could do a Jeskai Revelation. Yep. Bounce and kill. Okay. 10 life. 1 biotech, 1 dream. Several artifacts to sacrifice here, including treasures from the boost buggy. Go ahead and play the Biotech Specialist. We'll play a Magebane Lizard. Ping them. Crew up the Specialist. Sorry, crew up the boost buggy. With the Specialist, I suppose. Swing for 3. Make another treasure here. Pass it to you. The life gain from the Ancient Cornucopia might be a bit of a problem, but they were only able to Jeskai Revelation because of the treasures. They only have access to 6 mana, which is quite a lot, but not enough to do like a big doppelgang or anything. Doppelgang for 1, copying their Ancient Cornucopia. Probably going to follow it with a Lightning Helix, I suppose. That's quite a lot of life. Cranko. Cranko. Sacrifice a treasure, make a goblin. Crew the boost buggy with the goblin. Swing for a pretty decent chunk here. Let them untap with the cornucopias, unfortunately. Magebane Lizard might be a little bit of a problem for them. Songcrafter Mage. Gaining a lot of life. What could we use here? Maybe just another Biotech Specialist. Okay. Franco's threatening kind of a big attack here. Sentinel of the Nameless City. So we go... Sack a treasure. Make a goblin. Sack the lander, make a goblin. Open up our mana a little more for next turn. Swing with a bunch of 2/2s. Just leave back the Magebane Lizard, I suppose. Make them have a board wipe here. Continue to threaten a pretty big board next turn. They're gaining so much life. Unfortunately, kind of a tough board here for us with the double cornucopia. Kind of goes crazy. River Regent. Gaining a little bit of life here. Probably bounce back their Songcrafter Mage. Just bouncing a couple goblins. Kind of surprised they didn't bounce their Songcrafter Mage back. Maybe they have another one. I like the idea of maybe a couple boost buggies, and then we can continue to go crazy with some treasures next turn. Survives through a traditional board wipe. Hit myself with the Mage Bane here, not a big deal. Maybe should have brought in a Braids for the cornucopias. I kind of forget sometimes how crazy the life gain is on this card. If they have any kind of action at all, we're looking kind of toast. They're staying afloat really nicely with these cornucopias here. Magebane Lizard not looking particularly good, to be honest. Just not very significant. They're really casting like one non-creature spell at a time, not particularly going crazy. At a healthy 17. They've gained 1,000,000 life this game. Swinging at me, all out. We will block. Get lost my Cranko. Give me some maps. Okay. Nothing to be done about that. Gonna be tough beating this River Regent. Play another Cranko. Crack the map. Play another Cranko. Sacrifice the map to Cranko. Make a Goblin. Brew a Buggy. Present some little Goblin blockers. Yeah, I think this makes sense-ish. Oh, you know, I should probably swing with... Probably swing with both of them. Make 2 treasures. 2 treasures equals 2 goblins. Hope they just have nothing in their hand. Ancient Cornucopia. It's something-ish. Can change the board. Gain a little life. Pass it to me. Swing with the River Regent. Nothing I can do about that. Go ahead. We don't need to sack these yet because the goblins get haste. Maybe we draw a Biotech Specialist here. Okay. So we can sack... Make 2 goblins. Make 3 goblins. If we draw like an untapped land here... Okay. That lets us play a Sentinel, which crews and is another... We make a Goblin. Make a Goblin. Play the Sentinel. Sacrifice map. Pay the red. Make a Goblin. Through here. Through here. Swing with a pretty big board. I don't think this is lethal, but it was a pretty decent showing. It was a pretty decent showing. Ah, it was a good showing. We tried. Not much we could do there. All right. We tried. Got to show off Kranko a little bit. Put him pretty close. 1-1. Tough matchup. Keep it moving. Keep it grooving. I still believe in the power of the deck. I still believe. If you wanted to go for more like a combo-oriented slant, by the way, I'm not sure that it's necessarily very good in the current meta, but Brass's Bounty is a pretty interesting option because it gives you access to so many treasures that often if you have Kranko or Biotech Specialist on the field when you resolve it, you just win. It is expensive though, so I kind of think right now you need to be able to interact with your opponent's explosive starts, so we're playing a couple Irohs demonstration for that reason. Decent hand. I'm going to keep it. It's got lands and spells. Would like a Llanowar Elves off the top, perhaps. Or a Torch for their Llanowar. Okay. Ask and you shall receive. Landfall. Pretty cool. Okay. Dump in their hand here. Go ahead and play the wagon. Open up our mana a little. Maybe should have gotten a forest. Not sure that it super matters. Mossborn Hydra could be a problem. Currently no lands in their hand. Actually is huge for us. So we can play the Sentinel. We can play the Biotech Specialist. We can pretty much almost threaten lethal next turn, I think. I haven't run the numbers, but double Biotech Specialist goes pretty crazy, and if we get to chunk them with the wagon here, we're looking pretty good. Land. Swings for 2. Doesn't swing. Too scared. Frightened. Frightened crazy hobo. Another Biotech Specialist? Imagine if we had Brass's Bounty at this exact moment. Okay. Well, I'm going to shock myself. I'm going to play Biotech Specialist. I'm going to play another Biotech Specialist. There's not much else to say about that. Go ahead and crack a map here. Hit them for 6. Okay. Alright. I guess I just pass. Hold up blocks. Not dead this turn, but they're definitely dead next turn. Another Saz's Chocobo. Passing it to me. I don't even need the 4th one, but it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. Whee! Sack a lander, hit you for 8, perhaps. Grab a forest, of course. Hit you for 8. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty good. Bring in the Iroh's demonstrations. Bring in removal. Basically just bring in all the removal. We can cut down on our top end a little bit here. I think Kranko is decent here. I think we like the Generous Plunderer in this matchup because what they don't need like extra mana to do their thing really. They just need lands, you know? Like having extra mana is not particularly relevant for their game plan. I guess it could mean the difference between like holding up Snakeskin Veil or not being able to hold up Snakeskin Veil, but I think I like the Plunderer here. Probably give him a treasure every time. Yeah, this is pretty good. I like that it has interaction. 2 specialists. One specialist is decent, but two plus goes crazy. It simply goes crazy. Let's hold up Double Torch. I think I like Double Torch here. Probably just kill an elf, kill whatever else they play. Hydra. Fabled Passage. Well, we can just kill the trigger on the stack. We just kill this. They fetch. Comes in tapped. They get their counter. It dies. Pass it back to you. Elf is a pretty good draw. Lets us continue to hold up a torch here. In a lot of these cases, I've been on a lot of Llanowar Elves decks, and I've been trying to jam fire magic into them, but I actually think I maybe just like Iroh's demonstration better generally because it doesn't kill our own elves and also has this flexibility of being a very reasonable just 2 mana 4 damage at sorcery speed. Basically just obliterating bolt with flexibility. Jam our Sentinel here, I think. Another Biotech Specialist. Well, they're not really doing anything, so I suppose we start sacrificing some artifacts. Probably don't need another one of those. Hitting them. Looking pretty good. Looking like a pretty clean match here, I think. Kind of an odd... Huh? Where did this come from? I mean, I don't think I can beat it. I'll tell you that much. Completely unexpected. Completely unexpected. I guess they have this cool, like, sideboard plan, or maybe we just didn't see it. They're just a ramp deck, and they're playing Saz's Chocobo. I wonder if they're on, like, Ice Hill Explorer, etc., and then they just ramp into this. It's pretty cool. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I can beat this. They have 8 damage they can spread. They will leave me a Llanowar Elves. They're having trouble figuring out how to do this. Yeah, I'm just dead to this. Pretty much. Okay, they finally figured out how it works. Kills my stuff. Hits me. Land. So we go Biotech, and hope we draw... I think if we win, if there's a way to win, it starts with Biotech. So I'm just going to do that. We have lethal artifacts on the field. We just need a way to sacrifice them all. What is this deck? I guess you could just call it Teamer Ramp. I guess I mean, I'm not going to block. Oh, they don't have access to loot. If I draw another torch, maybe I can sacrifice everything. I like map into a land, draw a torch, torch 2 landers, torch away 2 landers, hit them for... Okay, well there's a land, not a torch per se. So we play a forest. We torch the Llanowar elves. Hit them for 4. Already played a land. Unfortunately. Map, lander, put them to 2 and then swing out. Sweet. Okay, somehow we won through the Areni. I don't really understand it myself, to be honest. Our biotechs just did 1,000,000 damage. They draw 3 cards. I guess you should have blocked first. All right. Double Biotech Specialist goes crazy. That's pretty much the gist of it, I suppose. 2-1. 2-1 overall. Playing against some interesting decks right now in the diamond ranks. Everyone refuses to play meta, and I respect that. I respect that. Heisenberg 73. You know this guy's on Is It Otter? I'm sorry. I can clock it from a mile away. Okay, on the draw. It's close. Got a mulligan, though. Gonna keep this. Big fan of this hand. Pretty decent curve out. Ah. I was wrong. I was wrong about you, Heisenberg 73. Could be Teamer Otter, though. Could be Teamer Otter, which is a pretty... It's like half right. And not a bad guess at all. Breeding Pool. Botanical Sanctum. Gene Pollinator. Probably not Teamer Otter. Go ahead and play our boost buggy. Give him a moment to read it. They're still reading. Reading my cards. Reading Restless Ridgeline. Trying to figure out what's going on here. It's your deck, man. It's your turn. Just play one of your cards. People crack me up. Whatever you're doing can't be that complicated. I'm sorry. Okay, you play your 3/3. You play Pop Patch. Fair enough. Let's go ahead. Start playing out our stuff. We'll offer up our boost buggy. I think I don't mind trading. I guess they don't have enough mana to pump with Tyvar. but I like generating treasures. They don't have enough mana to pump with Tyvar yet. They could. I like getting treasures going, though. We don't have a specialist in hand right now, but the more we add to the board early, the better a payoff it is later. No blocks. Pass it to you. Tyvar looking a little scary. Innkeeper's Talent, decent. If this is all they have, though, if this is all they have, this I think this is beatable. Probably lose to an Orbital right off the top. Going for ward. Counter on the Paw Patch and swing. Just swing with the Paw Patch. Interesting. Okay. On a lot of lands here. I'm just going to keep up the pressure. Well, I guess it's kind of silly feeding anything into the Tyvar here. Best I can do really is just map the Sentinel and hope I get a little power boosty. You know what? I'll take it. It's not the best draw, but it's not the worst draw either. Yeah, I guess they get a free block, but I get a free map. Tyvar's pretty good in these matchups, huh? Opponent in the tank. Going with a Drunith. Not holding up enough mana to activate Tyvar's ability, which means the Bristlebutt Farmer can swing in decently. Trade for an elf, I guess, but get something off the top here. Let's go ahead and fire up the boost buggy and swing out. Block. I guess let's map the... So they block Tyvar... Sorry, block Farmer with Tyvar and Elf. Block Sentinel with Paw Patch. Maybe they don't even block the Sentinel. Probably block the boost buggy with Sentinel. With the Paw Patch. And giving boost buggy another map doesn't really do anything here. So maybe we just hold on to the map for second main phase to try to clear away lands. Take a Chandra. A lot of garbage on the field for us, which we like. They've never seen maps before. They have to read map. Unfamiliar with map. Blocking... this is a weird block, right? Not much of a reason to do this unless they thought I had Torch, I suppose. I'll just kill the Elf and Drunith. And then they no longer have mana to Tyvar. Pretty sweet. We can... I think we just want to play our boost buggy here. I guess we don't even need to play the boost buggy. We could map onto this boost buggy, try to clear away a land here. Elves, not very good. Let's just continue to use our maps. Because we can give the boost buggy haste next turn. Iroh's demonstration. That's not bad. We can force them to tap down something, clear a blocker, I guess. That's not bad. Keep that on top. (6/5) boost buggy. Biggest dang old boost buggy you've ever seen. They decide to tap their gene pollinator. They might regret that. Big Tyvar. Pass it to me. So we have enough mana to... play the Chandra. Swing with the boost buggy. Maybe we play the Chandra, make a vehicle, kill the rabbit. How do we lose? Basically, that's the question, right? How do we lose? I guess we don't necessarily need to swing right yet. I like the idea of making the Chandra. I guess we can just sacrifice this food for an extra draw here, and then maybe just discard a Stomping Ground. Draw another card, and then next turn swing with a million things, basically. Because they're not killing us this turn. There's really nothing they can do to kill us this turn. They can swing with a big Tyvar and a big... like, they can... if they draw a land, right? They can swing with a big Tyvar and a big rabbit. But that's, like, we're at a healthy 17. I don't think there's any reason to send anything into the Tyvar grinder. We'll only get a little damage out of it. I guess maybe you could argue that we could swing with Sentinel and Boost Buggy. Trade off the Boost Buggy, hit him for 4 probably. Not a huge difference between those two boards. Let's just see what we draw off the food here, I suppose. Decided to go with the food. I guess if we play the Boost Buggy now... do we need this treasure? If we play the Boost Buggy now, we can exhaust it next turn if we didn't want to use this Ridgeline. And then make a generic vehicle with Chandra. Swing with 4 guys. I need to be able to block Tyvar. If they draw, I guess I could swing with the Boost Buggy, the 2 Boost Buggies. Oh, they just scooped. Okay, fair enough. They were tired of my thinking. I guess I was taking a pretty long turn. Go ahead and bring in the abrades, bring in the demonstrations, bring in the torches. Take out... maybe cut a couple plunderers. Maybe cut all the plunderers here. Cut a couple boost buggies. Pretty much just want to interact with them early here. Trim down on our top end a little. They were tired of my long turn. It was my turn to take the long turn. I had real stuff to think about, though. To be fair, I think they spent about a minute trying to decide whether it was better to play Tyvar or Paw Patch Recruit on turn 3, and mine was like, do I, you know, I had real options. I thought, but maybe the person in the driver's seat always thinks that. Am I toxic? Am I the toxic one? I don't know. To be fair, I'm not talking to Heisenberg. I'm talking to myself, and it is getting recorded, but I doubt Heisenberg 73 will ever see it. Don't quite have that poll. Great hand. Pretty much perfect. Just gonna keep it. Yep. Turn 1 elf, turn 2 wagon. Iroh's demonstration to clear their tokens and stuff. Looking pretty good. They're on a mold of 5 again. I think they mold to 5 the first game, perhaps. Maybe I'm misremembering. Okay, leading with a forest. Llanowar elves. Sweet. We will do the same. Back at ya. If they go like Druneth into Llanowar elves, Badgermole Cub. Okay. Into Azure Beastbinder. Do I have to take them off the cub right now? If their last card is Ouroboros, I think I do. But I also think... I guess if I just Iroh's demonstration, that's pretty much the same. And it keeps their Ouroboros, like future Ouroboros, from being pretty good. I'm between killing the cub and killing the elf and the resetting the land. They get to lock me down with the Beastbinder for a little while, but if I draw... When I draw another land, we'll be fine. I think taking away their go wide options here a little bit is nicer. Down to 2 lands. Okay, 1 card in hand. Swinging in at me. Decides not to swing with the Badgermole Cub. That's a little weird. We hit our land. Pretty sweet. We are officially online. No attacks. This card's very flexible, the Beastbinder. It doesn't do a whole lot of damage by itself, but you can't deny that, very, very nice combo with the Ouroboros and the Innkeeper's Talents, etc., etc. Keeps something locked down. It's everything, pretty much. Doesn't hit enchantments, I guess, but maybe that doesn't really make sense anyway. Opponent. Not sure what they want to do. Sometimes you just lose a game of Magic, Heisenberg 73. No offense. Sometimes you just lose a game of Magic. Move on to the next one. Timeout used. Rex Sage. Decent. It's the wagon. Wonder what they were pondering. Really, really curious to know what they were pondering. Oh, okay. So they didn't swing with the Badgermole Cub because I could just kill the cub. I see, I see. Understood. Gotta say, I kind of like Krenko and kill off the Beastbinder here. Although, with this board state, the only thing I really lose to is like Ouroboros from downtown. Let's make a Chandra. If we make the token, I can block with it with my elf. No attacks. Ooh! Almost made a dire mistake. So we can hold up this blocker here. If they Beastbind Chandra, not the end of the world. Keeps them from Beastbinding. Essentially, I'm just going to present them with too many things to Beastbind. Too many things to bind. Swing everything at Chandra. Not the end of the world. Could take me off of the vehicle. Targeting Chandra. Okay. Well, I'm going to move to block the cub with the vehicle here. Ishana's Tidebinder. Okay. Fine. We do have another Chandra, fortunately. Sentinel of the Nameless City is a great draw. This will just let me... I think we finally commit and just kill this Beastbinder here. Or do we? Or do we? Because if they draw Ouroboros and we don't have an answer for it, we just lose that game. But right now, we can still continue to just overwhelm their board. A second Iroh's demonstration is really good. Pass it back to you. Tapped land. Lock down the Sentinel. Swinging in with other stuff. Just block here. No problem. Okay. Trying to get me to use Irohs for one. Just gonna kill the Beastbinder here. Pass it back to you. No reason to get silly. Couldn't swing because Beastbinder locked down my Sentinel. Got a huge card advantage. Alright, opponent passes. Biotech Specialist. Interesting. I think that's pretty good. I think if I swing with the Sentinel here, they're not going to block. No reason to do that quite yet. We can just play this Biotech Specialist, have it crew the vehicle for blocks. Pretend we're holding up in a braid, and just sack the lander. Or maybe we just jam Chandra here. Start sacking the maps for draws, try to hit our land drops. That's probably better. That's probably better. Okay, they scoop it up to Chandra. Fair enough. Good games. On to the fateful final match. 3-1 overall. Had a pretty good showing. An interesting variety of matchups here. Biotech got to shine big time last match. Not so much this sorry, against the landfall deck. Not so much against this go wide list. We just happen to have decent draws against their bad mulligans, I suppose. Gonna keep this. A little awkward having the Thornspire Verge. Not awkward anymore. It's so interesting that in the current meta, I think it's usually better to just wait on the torch. Let them hit me for 1. And just torch the cub when it shows up. Okay. Well, just gonna torch this elf then. I think I'm gonna go boost buggy. No, I like the plunderer here. They're already ramping. More mana probably doesn't change their situation too much. This opens up our... Okay, Tender Wild Guide. Interesting. Gives us enough mana to wagon here. Although we could hold our treasures. No, I think we just need to open up our mana. No attacks. Let them do their thing. Maybe they're gonna try to, like, Craterhoof Behemoth me and I'll regret everything. Through the Omen Paths. I've not played against this card. I think they just whiffed? Okay, they whiffed. Well, more mana definitely doesn't do anything for them now. Go ahead and play our Chandra. Let's start discarding cards. Want to hold on to these treasures for a future guy. Swing at him. By guy, I mean Biotech Specialist. Kind of lucky for them, for them to whiff on that through the Omen Paths. At the beginning of combat on your turn, look at the top 5 cards of your library, put a creature from among them onto the battlefield, put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Main phase Overprotect, Craterhoof Behemoth, and I'm dead. That's cool. Okay. Well, we can board against this and we can play around this. I don't have any answers to the Through the Omen Path, but I have a lot of good answers to Mana Dorks in my deck, in my sideboard. Kind of do the same thing we did last matchup, just cut down on our top end here a little bit. Maybe the Plunderer is not that good here. Maybe it's just not that good overall. It's interesting, but it can be pretty dangerous. Can be pretty dangerous. We can definitely win this matchup, though, if we just keep them off of fast mana. Iroh's Demonstration looking really, really good, actually. I'm a big fan of that card. Very, very flexible. Kind of the perfect card for this kind of strategy, like a red-green, just mid-range deck, because classically the problem with that kind of deck is that essentially your, like, the meta is just too wide and you can't answer everything, right? But having a main deck answer to tokens and other just creature strategies in general, that where otherwise, like, you kind of have to pick one. Are you on, like, a pyroclasm effect, or are you on an obliterating bolt? The fact that it's neatly packaged into one, very, very flexible, very good. Gonna keep this hand. No mitigation for their game plan, but we're on the play, and we can go off to the races pretty nicely here. Hopefully just be faster than them. Franco. I like the boost buggy first. Get the boost buggy online. Swing in with Cranko next turn. Collector's Cage, that makes sense. Okay, this is a cool list. Makes sense with what they're trying to do. Just be very unfair. So we'll go ahead. We will... I think we're just going to play both Cranko and Biotech Specialist. Not like they're going to have much of any removal. Swing in for 6 and present a pretty strong board next turn. Probably lethal next turn, depending on what we draw, I suppose. We have a guaranteed... Okay, here's Ouroboros. Interesting. Goes down to 1 blocker. Could be kind of a critical error. A Braid. So we can play a land. Fire up the boost buggy. And just Abrade the Ouroboros if they block. And if they don't block, are they dead? So they'll take 6, they'll go to 8. Take 7. So we can exhaust. Okay, I'm not going to swing with the specialist, so I can just crew here. Right? I guess I could sack stuff at instant speed. Pay 3, fire up the boost buggy, make 2 treasures, have enough, swing with everything, have enough mana to sack 3 tokens, force them to block, basically, which is kind of a nice outcome for us, I think. They decide to block the biotech. You can't do that. You're definitely dead to that. Huh? 6, 9, plus 6 is 15? What are you doing? Oops. Weird. Weird, but we'll take it. Okay. Keep it as is. Gotta have a little more interaction this time on the play, or sorry, on the draw. But could pull out a nice 4-1 overall, which would be a pretty good showing for this deck, I think. It's a little experimental, I guess you could say. Unproven. But I like it. I think it does some pretty strong stuff. Curves out nicely. The reach is pretty important against the go wide strategies. The reach as in like the extra damage we can get from our Biotech Specialists. Generous Plunderer has not looked particularly good so far. It could look good here. At the very least, it guarantees that we get up to 3 mana. I like a Stomping Ground. Cool deck, cool deck. Just gonna torch this. Boost buggy. Well, I'm kind of a boost buggy guy, personally. So I'll play the boost buggy. Tender Wild Guide. So tender. So wild. The most tender wild guide you've ever met. Gonna go for Sentinel, because then we can swing, which I like, but also next turn Chandra lets us sack and then swing with the boost buggy. They're trading. Huge for us. Okay. You need like mana to cast her through the Omen Paths, right? Collector's Cage. They're afraid of the buggy, dude. They're scared. They're scared of my Jeep. Just gonna play Chandra. And I'm gonna start leveling her up. 1, because I want to hit land drops, and 2, on an unopposed board, we're like very, very close to just ultimating her, which will guarantee that we win. Plus Chandra plus Sentinel of the Nameless City is just literally just endless value. It's so good. We can abrade the cub. Go ahead and just draw a card. Nice. Okay, we could Iroh's Demonstration the cub and take them off of Collector Cage if we wanted to. Iroh's Demonstration the cub here, and then hold up a braid. Overprotect on the cub. Do I care? I guess I do care because I want to swing. And if they've only got 2 cards left, probably not a whole lot going on for them. Okay, hopefully they let us do it. Go out with a bang. Ultimate this Chandra. Tender Wild Guide. Okay, check it out, y'all. It's Chandra Ultimate. Check it out, y'all. Biotech Specialist. Pew, pew, pew. Pew. Pew, pew. Okay. Corn 1. Good run. Good run. Sweet deck. If you're a fan of red-green mid-range strategies, of which, you know, most of the red-green on the ladder lately has been Delirium, graveyard-based, this is a lot more classic, like, play your creatures, except right now, in Standard, every creature does something. It enters and does something, or it attacks and does something. Our deck is just abusing that fact that, like, there are so many creatures that produce these dinky little tokens, and once you amass enough, Biotech Specialist just becomes this big late-game closer, right? Flexible early, blocks okay, lander is meh, it's fine, but by the time you've won on board, then you just get to close it out. Like if things stall out, like you've hit them a little early, things stall out, and then you get to close it out with this big like explosive turn. It all works out pretty nicely. It all works out pretty nicely. Everything synergizes, but you don't need like a specific combo. You know what I mean? Like you don't need the specialist to win. Chandra's there to help you filter through your deck and draw a bunch of cards. Lumbering World Wagon gets you up to Chandra mana guaranteed. It all works out really nicely. So thanks for watching. Thanks for checking out the video. I'll be posting every day, and come back again for some more fun decks, for more fun brews. I'll catch you later. Bye.